Hey everyone, welcome back to Serving 813, a radio show and podcast featuring Tampa Bay organizations and groups every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. I'm your host, Ava Lamison, and today I'm super excited and grateful to be joined with one of the faces and voices behind HCC Hawk Run. Now, if you don't know already, HCC Hawk Run is a community 5K event hosted by Hillsborough Community College to raise money for student scholarships and campus programs sponsored by Suncoast Credit Union. So with that said, welcome to the show, Beth McCullough.
Hi, I'm so great to be here.
Yay, I'm so happy to have you on the show, and it's a little quiet today because my co-host couldn't make it, but I'm happy I'm here to be blessed with your presence. But Beth, you are the leader of HCC Hawk Run. So can you tell us on a deeper level what HCC Hawk Run is all about?
Yes, so just to give you a little bit of background, it was started in 2016 by a group of students here at Hillsborough Community College, and they were with the AMSA pre-health chapter, and they wanted to essentially promote health and wellness in the community for students and for the community. And the one thing they were looking for is to do their own 5K event, but the problem is that they were super expensive.
Yeah.
Like back in, this was 10 years ago, they were even like $40. So they said, well, why can't we do a 5K here at HCC and make it low cost for our students? And so as their club advisor, I said, well, let's look into it. Let's see what we have to do with it or do to make it happen. And we went through all the steps, and they were able to make it into a reality. And this is actually our 10th year.
Oh, wow.
And so we're super excited to be having our 10th anniversary. And one of the things is they wanted to make sure that it gave back to students. So the number one thing is they wanted it to be at a low price point. So
Yes.
we started out at $20, and in 10 years we've only gone up to $25.
Oh,
So,
that's crazy. That's really good.
Yeah. So I usually tell students, I said it's probably the cheapest night out on the town that you can get, because you get all kinds of stuff with it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. But they wanted it to be at a low price point. They also wanted it to be able to give back to HCC students, which is what you've already said, which all the proceeds go back to the HCC Foundation for Student Scholarships. And in the 9 years that we've actually put on the Hawk Run, we've actually been able to give over $50,000 back to HCC for student scholarships. And we actually, a couple years ago, we were able to establish the HCC Hawk Run Endowed Fellowship Fund.
Oh my goodness.
Which, what that means is that we were able to put enough money in that it earns interest, so that even if we never had another Hawk Run, that fund would stay in place and earn interest to be able to keep giving back to students forever. So we were super excited when we were able to have that happen. And then there's actually a special part of the Hawk Run that's just for students. So students actually have their own category of prizes. So the top 3 male finishers and the top 3 male student finishers and top 3 female student finishers win cash prizes.
Oh, wow.
So I always have to kind of say cash in quotes, because they don't get the cash right when they cross the finish line or anything. It is a check that comes later, because you do have to verify that they're a student and everything. But the first place is $250.
Oh, wow.
Second place is $150, or no, $150. No, $125, and then third place is $75. So that's for the top 3 male student finishers and top 3 female student finishers. And I always tell students it's actually a pretty good, odds of doing well, because we've had about 400 people attending the event over the last couple of years. Half of them are usually students.
Yeah.
And then you figure maybe half are female, half are male. So you're cutting it down, and your odds are getting better with each time. And then something else that we started with the Hawk Run is we wanted also to promote health and wellness to the community. So we also have, in conjunction with this, a health and wellness fair. So students are invited to present research that they've done on a particular health and wellness topic.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And we used to actually have them do their presentations at the Hawk Run,
Mm-hmm.
but the Hawk Run's gotten kind of so big that it's a little complicated to try to do that all on the same day. So we kind of have that leading up to the Hawk Run on Thursday. So at the Brandon campus, on the 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
which is next Thursday, we have about 30 students that'll be presenting posters on different types of health and wellness topics. And if you happen to be at the Brandon campus
Mm-hmm.
and you go and engage with at least 3 of the posters and listen to their presentation and ask a question, then you can get a free PDQ lunch. So
lots of incentives.
Absolutely. And then the students also who are in the poster presentation can get prizes as well. And then we have the posters on site at the Hawk Run so that the attendees before and after the Hawk Run can go and like see the information from the posters. So it was really kind of all about students, but we wanted it to also be a college-wide event.
Yeah.
So even though it was started by the AMSA Health chapter, we've never really kind of put our name on it because we really wanted it to be an event for the whole college and unite faculty, staff, students, and then our local community. So that's why we chose the Hawk Run as the name for it way back when, because we really wanted it to be a college-wide event. And it's one of the probably unique events at HCC where it does really bring together students, faculty, and staff kind of in a social kind of fun gathering. And we have tons of community members and families come out because for the price point, it makes it kind of a reasonable thing that a whole family can come and do it instead of trying to pay what you would normally have to pay to do a 5K.
Yeah.
And it is professionally, it's a microchip timed run, so we have a professional microchip company come out and do that. And there's the option of either running the 5K or you can walk it. You do not have to run it. And then there's also a 1 mile option. So if you're not quite really ready to do a full 5K, you can do 1 mile. And that is usually a pretty big option for some of the families. They like to do that with their little kids over doing the full 5K. And the event is at the Brandon campus. And the reason we have it at the Brandon campus is because we can have a closed course, so that means that we're not out on any open roads, and they basically run twice around the campus, and it's a glow run, so we haven't mentioned that yet. So it's in the evening at 7 p.m. And there are different glow features out on the course. So there's a fountain that has different colors and all kinds of different LED lighting and things like that. And then the participants actually get glow accessories when they come to check in, so that they can be, ready for the glowing experience. And then certainly we have a lot of people who even do more, because we do have a prize for like the team that glows the most.
Oh, wow.
So we've had all kinds of interesting things that students have done before, and even families, like they brought their strollers and they've had them decked out in all kinds of different lighting and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. So, and I can talk about like what they get for their $25 if you want me to do that.
Yes, I would love it. I mean, I feel like there's already so much they get. I mean, just $25 is such a steal for a run, because I know 5Ks can be pretty expensive. I mean, like the turkey try is like $100.
Probably. I know like back in the day, like when I was doing them, now that I'm running it, I usually am not able to do it myself, but it was like $40-$50. So we were super excited that we've been able to keep the price point down. And I'll mention really quickly that's because of our sponsors, because we have Suncoast Credit Union as our platinum sponsor, but we also have a number of other sponsors at the gold level, which I'd love to mention them if I could. We have Advent Healthcare at the Riverview Hospital. We have Brandon Hospital, which is with HCA Healthcare. And then we also have Alro Steel, Metals, and Plastics. And we have R&R Tire Express. So we have kind of a very eclectic group of sponsors. And then we have one other sponsor, which is Power Bay Electric. And so a few of them are HCC alumni. So it's kind of cool that they've come back to kind of give back.
Like a full circle moment,
Exactly. And we do get actually a lot of alumni coming back to also participate as well, which is a lot of fun. But for their $25, they get their entry fee, which includes microchip bib. They get a race bag that has all kinds of swag from our sponsors and things like that. They get food, so we have mini burritos, bananas, and then we have gelato and Italian ice from Jeremiah's.
Oh,
so,
yum.
Yeah, so usually that's a big hit because everybody is, kind of a little parched afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's in the evening, so it's a little bit cooler usually. And we went from having it in the morning to the evening because of the students, because we were finding that students didn't want to wake up at 7 a.m. to do a run, so they like to come out at 7 at night and do it. And it's usually over by like 8:30, so they can still go out in the evening
that's
and
so fun.
do fun stuff. They also get a T-shirt, and this year we went to a super soft T-shirt, so it's going to be. I'm excited because it's probably the best T-shirts that we've had since we started. So we figured for the 10th anniversary, we would do something do something special. And they also get a race medal. So even if they're only doing the 1 mile, everybody gets a finishing medal. And I think for some of the people that participate, they really like the kids. They love coming across the finish line and getting the finishing medal. And for families and things like that, we also have first, second, and third place for every 5-year age group. So the little kids love, a lot of times because it's not a huge event, they get a certificate, and we have our hawk mascot out there, and they get to take their picture with the mascot. And then we do have the standard trophies for the regular winners, not the student winners, and then also for what's called masters, which is for over 40. So there's like 18 different trophies that we give out on the night of the event.
Yeah, I mean, well, you guys check all the boxes. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't known to like what HCC Hawk Run was. Like, I've heard of it, but I didn't know like all the things you put into this. I didn't know how. I mean, it's amazing what you guys do.
And then we also we try to kind of make it kind of like a carnival vibe beforehand. There's a DJ, there's a photographer that goes around and takes all kinds of pictures. And what's really nice is we provide all the pictures to the participants so that they can download the pictures, and they're from a professional. So it's kind of nice because sometimes you're out on the race course and you wouldn't be getting a picture of yourself on the race course. So that's fun. And then all our sponsors come out, and we have some other vendors come out, and they have tables. So there's stuff for the people that maybe they're coming to cheer on one of their family members or a student. So there's stuff for them to do at the same time. And we have all kinds of games out there like giant Jenga and cornhole. And then Advent Health usually brings out this huge, it's like a giant operation table.
Oh, awesome.
So it's like about 5 feet long, so you can test yourself to see how well you would do with actually operating on a person.
And you guys have these runs at the Brandon campus?
It's at the Brandon campus, and as I said, the main reason we did it at the Brandon campus was because of the fact that we could have a closed course. So because once you go out on any kind of main roads and you have to close down roads, then it costs more money because you have to get police to close down the road and things like that, and it makes it very safe, especially for children and things like that, because they're not out on any open roads.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to also ask, when is the actual event?
So we kind of kick off festivities, as I said, next Thursday, which is the 23rd, and that's with the Health and Wellness Fair at the Brandon campus. So there'll be the poster session for that. And then the actual Hawk Run is on Saturday, October 25th.
Oh, very soon.
Yeah, so it's about a week and a half, and we definitely would love to have more participants. So please go. If you just type in HCC Hawk Run, it'll come up on the browser. But it starts at 7, but we encourage people to come out at 6 p.m. because there are activities for them to do beforehand, get their shirt and their microchip bib and everything. And people can even register on the night of the event, but it does go up in price. So the last day they can register for the $25 price is on Friday at midnight, and then it goes up on Saturdays just to $30. So it's not like some exorbitant
end of the world.
But we also have in-person packet pickups at the Brandon campus on Thursday and Friday afternoon. So if anybody wants to come by and register, then they can do that, or if they have questions. And I will mention, although I cannot say for sure which campuses are doing this for sure, I know that the Brandon campus has some free registrations for students. South Shore has sign-ups for free registrations for students. Each campus was given 3 free registrations to the SGAs to pass out as they would like. So if they can always ask, if it's a student, they could ask their SGA, are you doing any free registrations, or have you used all 3 of your free registrations? And if not, then they can get that free registration from their SGA, which is the Student Government Association, if people don't know what the SGA is.
Amazing.
So,
I mean, HCC Hawk Run's very giving. I feel like, so many rewards and all the vendors that come that's cool. And then you give 3 free signups away. My last question for this segment was, can you talk more about the student scholarships and?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So so as I said, all the proceeds from the run go back to student scholarships, and it's varied over the years of how much we've raised in proceeds. So our sponsors usually are able to cover a majority of the cost of the event, so that then any proceeds that we have can just go straight back to the foundation. And last year, for example, we raised over $10,000, and so that went back to the foundation, and all of that money goes into scholarship funding. And so for a long time it went just into the general scholarship fund, but we're working on kind of making a special Hawk Run scholarship, so that's kind of in the works right now.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. So,
Yes.
because we thought it would be nice to be able to recognize who the students are that are actually benefiting from the Hawk Run scholarship. So,
Totally. Well, I think that already wraps up our first segment. The show's already going by so quick, and I'm already learning so much about HCC Hawk Run. But Beth, I do have a question for you that we ask all our guests.
Okay.
What song should we play?
Okay, we're going to play Bringin' the Noise by NSYNC.
Love it. We'll be back after this song. And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. Make sure to tune in to live365.com every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. if you want to find ways to serve your community. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm one of your hosts, Ava Lamison, and we are here with Beth Nicola from HCC Hawk Run. So for this segment, we want to talk more about you, Beth, and your role with an HCC Hawk Run. So my first question for you is, for starters, you are a chemistry professor at HCC, so I'm trying to figure out how these two connect. Why'd you get into running in this club?
It is a little odd to make that connection between chemistry and doing the Hawk Run. So I actually have been at HCC, it'll be 30 years next fall. So
Oh,
I've been
wow.
here quite a long time. And when I started teaching back in the early 2000s, full time, I saw a lot of the students were interested in going into healthcare professions, but they were really not knowing a lot about how to apply to health professional schools, what to do to be a competitive applicant. And unfortunately, if students wait until they get to their 4-year university or college, sometimes it's a little bit too late for them to do everything. So I started a health pre-professional club back in 2001, and it ended up kind of morphing into what is now known as the HCC AMSA Pre-Health Chapter. AMSA stands for the American Medical Student Association, but we're not just for medical pre-meds, it's for all pre-health at HCC, whether you're interested in going into a 2-year degree program here at HCC, or you want to go to medical school or dental school, vet school, and actually we just say if anybody just wants to be in an active college club, we would love to have you join our club, because we do a lot of activities. So because it's a pre-health organization, the students in 2016 were very motivated, and they came up with kind of a whole initiative, and they called it the I3 initiative, which was to inform, inspire, and ignite students. And the inspire part of it was to inspire students to have academic excellence and personal health. Because as a healthcare professional, you need to take care of yourself first if you're going to be able to do a good job of taking care of somebody else. So I kind of mentioned this a little bit in the first segment, but the students wanted to really kind of do a 5K for themselves, kind of to like promote personal health, but they were all complaining about how expensive it was.
Yeah.
And then just said, hey, well, why can't we do this at our campus and make it less, or at our college and make it less expensive? So I actually, this is going to sound a little crazy, but I had kids, and we had actually had a Girl Scout troop that had started the first youth triathlon here in Hillsborough County. And so I had a little experience with running, kind of like a running type event, but I just reached out to we had to first get approval by our risk management team just to see could we even do it and not get in trouble if somebody got hurt or something like that. And we just went through the steps that we needed to do and just made it happen. And so, as I said, now it's been 10 years. And
I mean, look at you guys now.
And we even did it during COVID. It was supposed to be on, believe it or not, March 20th of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
And I think, as everybody knows, March 13th, like everything kind of closed down, and we were ready to go. But obviously all student activities stopped, and so we couldn't do it in March. But what we did is we did it as a virtual event in October, and that's kind of how it shifted from being in March to being in October, because we found that October date worked better for a lot of our students. There's a lot of 5Ks in the springtime.
And it's also like perfect weather.
It really is. And also for a glow run, it's a little better because it's a little darker. So when we were doing it in the spring, it was kind of still a little light out, and so you weren't getting that full glow effect. So we did it as a virtual event then, and now there is still a virtual component to it, so students can do it virtually, or anybody in the community can do it virtually from the day of the event, which is October 25th through November 1st. And they just send in we kind of do it on the honor system. They send in their time, and we put it on the leaderboard, and the top 3 finishers in the virtual 5K also get recognized. So no prize money involved, but just, the satisfaction of knowing that they, were in the top 3 for male and female finishers. So that's how I got involved in it. And I love being involved in the clubs, and our club is actually district-wide, and so we're very much wanting to bring the whole college together. And so students on any campus can get involved in our club and participate. And I know this is, talking about giving back to the community. If any students, faculty, or staff want to come out and volunteer for the Hawk Run. We do have volunteer opportunities.
Oh, yes.
They can either reach out to me, or even if they just come out on the night of the event and say, hey, I'm here to volunteer, we will find a job for you. There's always spots for handing out water, being on the race course just to make sure that people are safe, and all kinds of different things for people to do.
Yeah, and what's the best way to reach out to you?
I would probably say through HCC email. I actually, but that's kind of hard because of, actually I could probably give you our AMSA Instagram, which is HCC_AMSA. And there's information about the volunteer opportunities on our Instagram page. And that would probably be the easiest way to find out about those.
Perfect. And I'll make sure when I post on Instagram, that will be in the description.
Awesome.
But my next question for you is, what part of HCC Hawk Run brings you the most joy?
For me, it's actually seeing like the whole community coming together, because sometimes like when you're a student in the classroom, you don't see your teacher as like an actual person. Like, there's the professor, here's me. And it's like to see, your that faculty member, or like even like, the librarian, another staff member out in kind of like, a community-wide social event, and you just get a whole different, viewpoint of, those people, and you talk to them and cheer each other on. And, some of the, I see sometimes my students come out with their whole families, and sometimes I don't see them as a parent, I just see them as a student. So for me, I think the most rewarding thing is just seeing everybody coming together and just having a really good time. And that's probably the most important thing to me, is just that everybody has a good time. So that's why we really try to get that, as I said, kind of like, kind of festival, carnival vibe. And one thing I forgot to say, we also have raffles. So if you're there during the award ceremony, everybody gets a raffle ticket, and there's all kinds of different gift cards, giveaways and things like that. So
I mean, I would assume these people are having a good time with the list of activities and stuff you're giving. That sounds so fun. I can't wait to have my co-host sign up with me. Yay. And speaking of that, I wanted to ask, this is just a personal question from me. What's the age range that comes to these events?
So it really is everything from little babies and strollers all the way up to, I could say, grandmas and grandpas. So, it can be really any age group. It's great for families. I see a lot of people come out, with strollers. It's actually very stroller friendly. There's not any hills or anything like that. It's all on pavement. It's not on any grass or anything like that. And then, as I said, you can walk it. So if you're not like really into like the running aspect of it, it's a nice walk. And the one thing that sometimes people like about it too is that sometimes people will do the 5K, and since it's 2 loops of the course, if you just decide I'm not up for doing like, I think I could do the whole 5K, but I'm not sure, you can come in at the second loop and not actually, do the whole thing and still have a great experience and everything. The only thing we ask is you don't go over the timing mats, because then it makes you look like you have a super fast time and it kind of goofs things up. We usually have people at the finish line to make sure that doesn't happen. So every once in a while, though, we miss somebody and they look like they did it in like, super speed.
I mean, you guys like really have this like down. So I wanted to ask, like, what does a typical planning day for this look like? Because you guys have, it sounds like perfect.
Well, it takes actually a really long time, because we start usually, really right after the event occurs. We're usually already kind of reserving our timing company for the next year to make sure that we get a good date. And then starting in late spring, we usually start trying to secure our sponsors, because they really are what are able to help us make this happen. Because if we didn't have the sponsors, we might not even have enough funding to even have the whole event take place. Because with having it at such a low price point, we're really covering quite a bit that the $25 is not covering. So through the summer, we're doing sponsorship, and then kind of right when we get back into fall, we really starting marketing, and there's just so many different aspects, because we have to have the race bags and the t-shirts, and then also we have the volunteers, so that takes a whole team of people, and then just setting up for the event itself, between the poster contest and then the day of the event. It does take probably a team of about 50 volunteers minimum to really make it happen. And we're very blessed because we have faculty, we have staff, we have a ton of students come out and help participate. And that was one of the things I did want to mention, is that I really, although I do the community event part of it is it's so rewarding, but it's also super rewarding to see a lot of different HCC groups coming together to make it happen, because our SGAs, our student government associations on all campuses, are super supportive. They advertise it for us. They'll put it on their Instagram. We have usually groups from each of the student government associations come out, and you can create your own team and have your own team name. So even 2 people can be a team, and you can have your own team. And so we usually will have different SGAs coming out and doing it together. And then, for instance, we actually have one of our Brandon Honors Leadership classes, Dr. Smith's class. They actually are helping us do a whole part of the Hawk Run. What we call them they're the t-shirt, swag, and bag team. So they're the ones that are putting together all the race bags for us so that we can give them out on the day of the event, and they take that on as their leadership project and then help us volunteer on the day of the event. And then we also have students for the environment, and they're coming out and helping us be good stewards and make it a more sustainable event. We do try to use kind of biodegradable cups on the race course, but we do have water bottles for them to get after the race, because usually they need a little bit more than what we have in the little cups. So we collect the water bottles, and the students from the environment do that, and then all the banana peels they use for composting, and that goes into the food forest, which is over at the Brandon campus, to help nourish what they're growing out there in the food forest. And so there's just so many different entities that come together to help make it happen.
Even if whether it's like people coming from HCC, all these clubs, and even like outside people like Suncoast Credit Union, all the other people you mentioned, it's really nice seeing how like the community connects for this.
Definitely. And when the sponsors come out, because they'll host their own tables, they give out information about their organizations, and usually they have a lot of giveaways to give out as well. So it's kind of nice for students to find out about these different organizations that we have in our community, and as well as because there's sometimes parents and grandparents there as well, so they can get lots of good information.
I think this already wraps up the second segment. Okay. This show is flying by, but Beth, do you have any other song requests?
Yes. Could you please play Just My Imagination by The Temptations?
Yes. We'll be back after this song. And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. Make sure to tune into live365.com every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. if you want to find ways to serve your community. Now, if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Ava Lamison, and we're here with Beth from HCC Hawk Run. So I put up an Instagram story the other day asking you guys listening to send in questions regarding HCC Hawk Run. And just like always, we got a ton of responses, so let's get into it. The first DM asks, what are your long-term goals for this cause and where do you hope to see this race in 10 years' time?
That is such an exciting question because it's hard to believe that this is our 10th year of doing the Hawk Run. I don't think when we started it as a student club 10 years ago that we would have thought that it even would come this far. We were hoping we'd get 100 people. So to have between 300 to 400 people each year is just awesome. I would love to see the Hawk Run keep continuing and growing and really hopefully getting the word out to more students on more campuses because that's probably the hardest thing I think at HCC with being 5 very diverse campuses is having everybody find out about some of the things that we have going on at HCC. And I would love to see that within another 10 years, we could raise another $50,000 plus.
I could definitely see it
for student scholarships. That was always kind of my goal was in 10 years to have raised $50,000, but we actually were able to do it in 9 years. So super excited about that, and hopefully we'll just keep increasing how much we're being able to give back to students because I think, you asked me what was really rewarding, but just knowing that I'm helping not me personally, but the event is helping students be able to continue their education and, maybe take the burden off a little bit because I know how expensive it is.
Yeah.
Even if you have your maybe your tuition covered, maybe books are not covered. And so that can be a burden for some students.
And this next DM says, what's the coolest experience you've had with HCC Hawk Run?
Oh my goodness. I think actually, there's so many different ones that I absolutely love, but I remember one year a student came, it was actually one of the participants, they came up to me and I realized that it was one of my former students from probably 10 years ago, and they actually, gone on to college, they got their PhD, and now they're a faculty member at another community college.
Gosh.
Unfortunately, it's a competitor, it's Pasco Hernando, but they're a science teacher as well, and just the fact that, they, thought it was, they wanted to come back and kind of say how much HCC had given back to them. So they wanted to kind of come back and give back to HCC by doing the Hawk Run. And they actually also made a donation, so it was really nice. So just, it was a surprise to see them and just see that they were doing so well and that their HCC education, put them in a good position to, get a good job. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and like you said, it's weird seeing your professors in a different environment,
Absolutely.
But it's fun you guys could connect differently, not just on teaching matters.
Absolutely.
Which is very cool. The next DM, I feel like we talked about this with the Glow Run, but it says, are there different themes for the runs and how do you decide them?
So it's pretty much the same theme each year. It is a Glow Run each year because we do it in the evening. But we do have 3 top team prizes. So there is, I think I might have mentioned it before, there's the team that glows the most. We have the most spirited team, and then we also have kind of the largest team. So if you if you have a community organization or if it's just a student group, and we always have a certificate that we give out and recognize them at the award ceremony. And I will just say our club is not allowed to participate in those particular awards because obviously they know about it and they get pretty involved in coming out and doing the event.
Yeah. So. All right, and this second to last DM says, we also talked about this, but is there a deadline to register?
So yes, just if you want to get the $25 registration cost, you want to register by midnight on the 24th of October, and then starting on Saturday it goes up to $30. So definitely saves you a little bit of money.
And I'll also make sure to put that in my caption when I post. And then the final DM says, what makes HCC Hawk Run different from other runs?
Well, I think the fact that it is kind of appeals to like such a wide variety of people. As I said before, from families with young children all the way up through students that are in college, and then we have people that are grandma and grandpas coming out. And the one thing I will say, this is also another thing that's been super cool. We have one family that has participated in every single hawk run except for one, and they were so bummed out because they couldn't. There was just one year that they had a conflict on that weekend, and they were actually the first family that signed up for this year. So or first actually people to sign up this year, so it was super awesome. So it's kind of nice to see like returning people come back, that's I just love that aspect of it.
Yeah, and you just have like a tight knit community, and
absolutely.
You being the leader of it. I mean, you must like be looking at the night of. I imagine like in your eyes, you're like, I did this with my team.
Yes, obviously, yeah, because there's absolutely no way I could not do it with the club, and then with the cadre of volunteers that we have help out. And it's just such a nice kind of college-wide event where it brings students, faculty, and staff together at a very low price point.
Yes,
we have some
totally.
Fundraisers, but they're not always within reach of even faculty paychecks.
And that wraps up all our DMs. And my last final question is, how can people sign up? What's the website?
So the website URL is a little long, but if you just type in HCC Hawk Run, it'll come up.
Okay.
It's like it comes up pretty high up in the URLs when you search, and you'll be able to find it. You can see photos from previous years if you want to kind of get a feel for it. I think it's in kind of one of the drop-down menus. And even if you can't come out on the night of the event, you can do it virtually. You can also just make a donation if you feel like you want to support HCC students in their scholarship opportunities. We always accept donations, and that, as I said, all those proceeds go back into the HCC Foundation Scholarship Fund. And so we would love to see you out there. It's just a fun night, and hopefully we'll have some beautiful weather. That's always the thing.
Fingers crossed.
My fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm gonna knock on some wood here. So
there's so much to do, even if you want to be in the race or donate or even volunteer, which is what Serving 813 is all about. So but that wraps up all my questions and best time on the show. But thank you so much for being a part of Serving 813. I loved having you here.
Yes, well, thank you so much for helping us get the word out about the Hawk Run to our students and other community members.
Yes.
We hope we'll get even more people coming out.
Yes, and I know I'm going to try and sign up if I can, because the more over the time of the show, I was like, this sounds fun. Like, I need to convince my friends. But
yes, make a team.
Yes.
Have a fun name.
All right. Thank you so much, Beth. And before you go, I have one more question. What should be our final song?
That's a good question. Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. One of my favorites.
A classic. All right. Thank you so much, Beth. And don't go anywhere if you're still listening, because I will be back after this song. And we're back. Welcome back to Serving 813. Make sure to tune in to live365.com every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. if you want to find ways to serve your community. I'm your host, Ava Lamison, and we are just here with Beth McCullough from HCC's Hawk Run. Now, I think this would be a great time for me to reflect on today's show because I feel like I learned a lot. And I feel like I'm talking to a wall right now. I'm all alone, but it'll be fun. So I thought, I'm not a big runner, but since you can walk at these, I am so excited to sign up for HCC Hawk Run. And also, as a dual enrollment student, you can participate. And this is something I also really like. When I came into this, I thought HCC Hawk Run was subject to just HCC faculty and students, but literally anyone can come to the show. Babies, grandparents, everyone. And if you're in dual enrollment, you still have a chance to qualify for rewards, which is really cool, and prizes. If you have, I think she said 6 credits, which is awesome because I guess I'm eligible for a prize. But even if you're not, you can still attend, and it's a great opportunity to connect with Tampa Bay and your friends. If you enjoy running, or even if you don't like running, all the events and vendors they have there is awesome. And it's great to see all the people that come together, whether they're from their HCC club or just outside, people like Suncoast Credit Union coming together, which is awesome to see them all work together for a cause. And also something cool, I didn't know HCC Hawk Run was going on for their 10th year anniversary, and they've already accomplished so much, which is very cool. I love learning about, over time on these shows, seeing how much people accomplish. But yeah, I'm not going to talk any longer because I don't know what else to say. But if you haven't already, go follow us on Serving 813 on Instagram to get updated on all episodes, information, or if you want to DM us and you're a nonprofit and want to get involved. And yeah, you can stream past shows. You can stream this show, hopefully in a couple days. And yeah, we're serving your city one convo at a time. This is Ava Lamison signing off. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.